Hi, and welcome to Attention Central Texas. I'm your hostess, Pat Galanfi, and today we have some very, very special guests that I just met for the first time today, and I'm really excited to hear more about them. I have Sue Hamby over there in that beautiful hat, and then Doris Fortson, is that correct?
That's correct.
To my immediate left. And welcome, ladies. I'm so excited to hear about a ministry that y'all are involved in called Neema Village. Could you just start sharing about that? Because these are fresh ears. I've never heard of this before.
We love that. Neema, I have to tell you first of all, Neema Village, Neema means grace in the Swahili language. And this is totally a God thing. This is not us. This is, we don't take any glory for this at all. This
Amen.
is so God. We're, my husband's 77, I'm 76. There is no way two old people are doing what we're doing. But we've been in operation for 8 years, and we've saved over 250 babies.
Praise God.
This is a baby home. We only take 2 and under, and they're orphaned, abandoned, or at risk.
Where are y'all located?
Like a little blind child. We took a blind baby in. We've taken a little boy with the Bell syndrome and things like that. But we have a lot of little abandoned babies, and what we try to do is get them adopted out. We've had over 60 adoptions.
Wow.
And we work through social welfare. I love to tell people we don't just go out and pick up babies off the road. Some of the babies are found on the road. We had one picked up out of a gravel pit, still had her umbilical cord.
Now this is all over in Tanzania?
All in Africa, in Tanzania.
Arusha, Tanzania.
Yeah, we lived there back in the 60s as young, fresh out of college, took a 3-month-old baby over there, fell in love with the country, worked there for 6 years, and then came back, and my husband pastored around, and we spent 30 years in Nacogdoches and campus ministry. I loved campus ministry, but this baby home is something else. But we've gotten into so much else with this. It's almost like God says, you know, you want to do this little thing. Well, I think I can make that way bigger if you'll let me. He's such a big God.
He is.
And you just stand back and go, whoa, are you sure you have the right people for this?
Amen.
But, we started taking in these babies, and we finally realized the babies are not the problem. Women who are poor and desperate, that's the problem. And so through God's people are so gracious. I'm convinced that God's people have all the money in the world that you need to do His work.
Yes.
You just need to tell the story. And so we started talking about these women. We've got to set these women up in something that they can make a living.
Yes, and they don't have to give those babies away. They can take care of their own.
They love their babies. We picked up, we went out, the police called us about a handicapped baby. They found the mama, she was 16 years old, living on the street, wailing and crying. And when they were taking her off to jail, that's an offense. I mean, that's an offense. She's going to jail. I thought, she does not belong in jail. That poor little kid. We got to do something to help these women. And so we built, Sue was so instrumental in this, called MAP, Mothers Against Poverty.
Oh, wow.
And we have set now 52 women up in business. They're small business, but that's what they need, you know.
And it's a microfinance program.
Yeah.
Where we not only provide them with the funds to start, but we train them.
We train them. It's the coolest thing. Their businesses like chicken and egg businesses and used clothing businesses and little vegetable stand businesses, beauty shops. Sue, she has a granddaughter in Africa, and she knows this young girl named Panina was a prostitute on the street, supporting her family, her baby, and she didn't have a husband, but her grandmother and an aunt on the street. And Sue went out and interviewed her. We had to get her out of that situation. Well, we sent her to beauty school, and she now works in a very successful beauty shop in Nairobi.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And she's was really cute because
she's precious.
She is. When I went and interviewed her in this house, and it was so terrible, not house, one room with just a mattress in it. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And she was a sex slave, had been a sex slave since she was 14 for 8 years. And I said to her, what would you like to do? And she said, I'd like to be a beautician. And I said, she said, I like to do hair. And I said, well, I'm going to be your grandma. And she said, I always wanted a white grandma.
Oh.
And so she is just precious. I'm
she's precious.
proud of her in there.
Yeah.
But we have
Proud of all of them.
Yeah, through all of this, we started, people will tell us when they have a mom that they know of that needs help. Many of these women have handicapped babies because their husband will leave when they have a handicapped baby. Let me explain one of them. This young couple had gotten married, had a fairly nice house. It wasn't a mud house, it was a cement house. Had their first baby, and after about 2 or 3 months, they realized it was a handicapped baby, severely handicapped. Well, he looked at her and he said, we've never had a baby like this in our family. You must have been sleeping around. And he kicked her out. And so there she is. She's in what I would consider a goat shack. I mean, it's mud with sticks and you can see through. But she is not about to give up that baby. But she can't work because he's 2 years old and he's heavy. So we're like, well, how are we going to help her? You know, she's got this handicapped baby. So after we started the MAP Center, helping the women with their business, now we've started a handicapped daycare.
Wow.
So that they can bring their handicapped babies. Pat, I can't tell you, we have volunteers come. They all start crying when they come in.
Yeah.
It's just the most precious thing. These mamas, when they come in, you see them coming in the gate, and they're just chattering. They form their support groups.
Yes.
These little handicapped moms have formed their support group. And they're just chattering. And the first day they came in, we gave them all 10,000 shillings, $5. We said, we want you to take your first day off, and we want you to go without your baby and have your hair fixed. Wow. So it's just the coolest thing. But the babies come in, and the first thing they do, we have 8 women that we've hired for the daycare. And we have 11 babies enrolled, so we're a little bit short there. But anyway, they give them a coconut massage. And the first few days, they scream like you never heard such screaming. Because they've probably never been touched like that. These babies are babies that are kept, they're called the hidden ones. They're kept in back rooms. The men are ashamed of them, and that's why they leave. They think it's their fault.
Right.
And
it's really sad when what the handicapped at the store said. What they do, the husbands don't want a handicapped child, and so a lot in the past. Sometimes they put them outside the village for the animals to eat, and so the mothers leave because they don't want their child.
It's just amazing to see how the Lord, like you said, started with one little thing.
One idea.
One idea, and then he started expanding it and expanding it, and now there's so many, hundreds and hundreds of people being blessed and nurtured and brought into the kingdom.
He is absolutely amazing.
It's amazing.
And part of the MAP program is we go out into the Maasai villages and we offer classes on birthing,
safe birthing,
women's rights. Women don't know they have rights over there.
Yeah.
And so I mean and health issues and so I mean it has really touched a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's so exciting to see how these women are very successful. And I've got to tell you, the one that I think is really interesting too is the internet one. She wanted to have an internet, and what did that
it
internet?
was a juice bar internet where people would come in and pay for an hour to use the computer. Yeah,
very
but
popular.
Never had even touched when they asked her about, you like working with, she never touched a computer. But and tell them what you did on there.
Oh, yeah, we got her started in it. We got her little printer there. And
we trained her?
Yeah. We hired a college student, young boy, and he's taught her that. He's now expanded that whole computer thing. We have a computer room with 10 computers in the MAP Center. We have a big sewing room where we have, I think, 9 sewing machines. We give away, and now these are treadle. You know what a treadle sewing machine is?
Yeah, I used to have one. I'm old enough.
So we give out, if they go through the course, we'll give them a treadle sewing machine.
Oh, neat.
But we have this computer room, and we now have our MAP women taking computer. We have Maasai women coming in who've never even had electricity.
Praise God. That's
and
awesome.
They're taking computer classes. It's the cutest thing, and taking sewing classes.
If people want more information on any of this ministry, where can they go, or who
we
can
have
they
a
call?
website. Just go to www.Neema Village, and it is spelled Neema,
Okay.
neemavillage.org.
Cool.
And we get
hold
a
on.
monthly blog, and Doris writes a monthly blog. She always writes. She also writes children's books.
Yeah.
But the monthly blog, if they'd like to, they just need to go
All
to
the stories.
sign up on our website, and they can also see each one of these stories about each baby and each mother through going to the website.
Right.
They have a map mother tab and the
Right.
baby tab.
Oh, that's awesome.
We sponsor the home by people sponsoring a baby, and it starts at $30 a month. We figure college kids can do that. You know, support a baby. It costs us
Right.
way more than that. We have 63 full-time employees now.
Praise God.
I tell people all the time, you know, babies seem to want their bottle on Christmas.
Yeah,
You know, so.
The other thing, they can come over and volunteer.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
have a
yeah.
volunteer house they can stay at for $150 a week, and that includes all their meals and their lodging. And then they can do a safari, an inexpensive safari. So it's, and we have volunteers from all over the world. We've had
All
them
over the world.
from 40 countries, over
Wow.
40 countries.
That's wonderful. And I'll bet they range in everything from kids
And sometimes
to...
these volunteers don't know who Jesus is.
Oh, wow.
Really, I'm not kidding. We had one that had never had a Bible in our house. She
Wow,
said we
wow,
didn't grow
wow.
up like that. We have prayers, we have Bible reading at, you know, at the table for the volunteers. And before she left, she said, I'm going home and I'm going to buy a Bible.
Oh, praise God.
I know. Remember the one that she came and you were talking and she said, "Who is that Jesus?
Yeah.
Who
Yes.
is that Jesus?"
Who is
Wow.
that Jesus
So
you guys are
it's
talking
just-
about? So that's another ministry we don't even talk about. You know, that I don't have to go to Australia. God will send them to me.
That's
you
true.
know?
That's true. That's beautiful.
So
What
it's
an
just an
amazing
incredible thing.
opportunity.
Yeah, we have our next projects. God just keeps showing us. We lose so many Maasai women in childbirth, and Michael came up with the idea. They don't want to come into a hospital. They're a tribe of people. They love their customs. They want to have their babies out in the village.
Right.
All right, let's go out there and build a birthing center.
Yeah.
Let's go out there and get some
There
nursing
is just
students.
no end to your imagination,
absolutely.
is there?
Yeah, get some
wonderful.
nursing students to come out there and spend a month. Now, what would that look like on your resume? You fresh out of college, I spent a month in a birthing center in
Yeah,
Africa.
absolutely.
One of
And
the
then we need a physical therapist to come over and show our nannies some good moves for these
My
handicapped
goodness.
babies.
Oh, gracious. We could sit here and talk for easily another half hour. So I am so excited that I got to meet you both.
Oh, we're glad to meet you.
You
Thank you
are
so much
just
for
a
having
blessing
us.
to the body of Christ and to the kingdom of God. And I'm excited that there are so many people like you in the world. It gives the
Absolutely.
rest of us so much hope because you know what you see on the news. That's
Yeah. Way
And
more
you're
good than
never,
bad
That's
out there.
you
pathetic.
think about that, you're never too old. They did this when they're
Amen.
in their
You're
70s.
never too old. All right, did y'all hear that? You're never too old.
Never
So
too old.
Contact Doris or Sue. Go to their website, check them out. And in the meantime, pray for that ministry and have a blessed day. Thanks for tuning in.